Hello, everyone. I'm Javin Sakshi from the Faculty of Education and Methodology and from the Department of Food and Biotechnology. Today, we are going to study about storage techniques for cereal and grains. So, what are the different types of storage techniques to store the cereals, which are important, which have nutritional energy mm, for humans? So how you are going to store the cereals and the grains, and types of techniques we are going to use further to store the cereals and millets and pulses, whatever it is. So what are the techniques which are used in our food industries? We are going to study about that. So first is bulk storage. What is bulk storage? Different types of grains are stored and preserved as bulk or mass in both vertical and horizontal warehouses. In this method, surface of bulk stacked cereals, for example, wheat, barley, rye, oat, corn, chickpea, and lentil, is leveled properly. What it is saying is we store different types of grains and preserve as bulk or in mass, both vertically and horizontal warehouses. We have vertical and horizontal warehouses where we store our grains and preserve the cereals and the millets in bulk or different kind of cereals. We put it in bulk stacked, and we make them level headed and make them store for longer period of time. So bulk storage is where we put all the cereals and pulses or whatever your grain is in the bulk. Okay, and it has also various advantages that it is possible to store more grain on unit area. Moreover, it also facilitates the control of grain samples easily and has less labor cost, that is less laborious, cost effective, and time saving. What bulk storage is all about is that that we can store different type of grains in bulk storage, and it also require less labor cost, and it is less time consuming. It is cost effective and less laborious, and we can control lots of grain over there and control grain samples easily. And that's why it is used nowadays to store, and it is used in majority of the food industries to preserve our cereals. So the next is storage underground. So what is storage underground? Is storage underground pits of this method are claimed to keep or preserve grain without damage or mutilate for multitude years. The pits or underground storage structure keeps the mass of grain cool and some of them comparatively airtight. What it is saying is that we store our grains underground the land. Okay, we store our cereals underground beneath the land because it helps the mass of the grain to retain cool for longer period of time comparatively. We keep them airtight under the ground, keep the cereals airtight under the ground, and that this process helps the grain to preserve for longer years because the underground it is a suitable environment from the for the different types of grain to sustain for longer period of time. This underground storage techniques provides the grain a sealed or shut tight condition, because underground storage techniques have a major advantage of maintaining the cereals for longer period of time because because of the lack of air movement and the coldness they provide and the coolness they provide to the grain helps them to store for longer period of time. And the third is storage in bag. If the moisture content percentage in cereal is increased, the number of sacks or bags in cereal stock is decreased. we put the our cereals in the storage bag, which is made up of the fibers. Okay, so jute bags, for example, we put all the cereals in the jute bags, but this method is more expensive due to high labor cost, because we have to move our grains in bulk from one place to another in the sacks. In Hindi we call it bori. Okay. But they are more susceptible to the rodents, because they can enter into the storage bags easily and can destroy all the cereals. Now, the fourth point is storage in warehouses. Sheds or storage in warehouse itself are consistently used by bulk handling companies, but need vigilant site preparation labor for handling sizable tarp covers, also machinery to move different types of grain on and off the grain stack. What it is saying, that storage in warehouses, the sheds, we this is another method where we put our cereals for storage in warehouses or sheds. It is because they can contain bulk the cereals in bulk amount. Okay, so, but it requires a vigilant site, because they are in the open fields. We have to look after it. We have to bring more laborers to handle the grains. Okay, so it is or we also need machinery to move the cereals from one place to another. It is a tedious task to do, and but effective treatment of infestation is tough task in sheds and bunkers. And in the warehouses, the grains are more susceptible to the insects, and so it is very hard to maintain that place, and to prevent them from rodents and insects. For on-farm shed storage, food grain in bags may be worthy and best short-term alternative. For storing grains in warehouse, the determination of location, control of moisture content percentage, and supplement of adequate aeration of cereals are important strands of consideration. The damage from insect is the most customary problem in warehouse. What it is telling you is that for storing grains in warehouses, the determination of location, moisture control, their percentage, their supplementation, these are all standards we have to consider. Also, the major part is, but the problem is there because they are more susceptible to the insects. Okay, we cannot avoid insects, because that is an open field. Insects can come from right and left, and we are unable to protect them as much as we can. Even we make our possible effects, but still they are more susceptible to insects. The next is storage in silo structure. The most fancied and chosen storage technique in plants is to store the grain in silo structures. Silo structures are made of stainless steel. We put the grains in them. They are very huge. They are huge, very huge in size. They are mostly made up of stainless steel, and they are also in a vertical standing position, and they have a good aeration system inside them. They are no insects can enter into that silo structure, and they are also nicely protected from all the insects and contaminants. And this is the best method by far from all the methods, where you can put your cereals for storage, and they can survive for longer years, for longer coming years, and you can easily make your cereals move out of that silos, and easily can refill the cereals with cereals in your silo structure. So they are controlled, and when compared with the other silo structures, and there are also wood silo structure and concrete silos, but among that, stainless steel silos are the best considered still yet. So the requirement of good grain storage structure, the different type of grains produced should be thoroughly cleaned and graded. What it means about why we are requiring good grainage, good grain storage structure, because we want our grains to be cleaned and graded and to be consumed nicely. So the storage is the very important part in the grains, because we harvest the cereals in bulk and we don't know how to store them. So storage is the necessity part to use. Storage is the most important part, so that it can be preserved for longer time, so that we can consume for longer time. It can be useful to us for a longer period of time. So storage structure should be constructed in the coolest portion of the farm. Make sure whenever you are making storage structures, you should always find a place away from sun or in the shadows. That is the best, because we don't want our grains to be heated time over time. Okay, next, the grain storage structure should be able to take the load of seed stores and should not allow an exchange of humid air. And the air exchange between the grains or the structure is not allowed, because they can harbor more insects and contaminants into the um, cereals. The seed storage structure should be cleaned, disinfected, and sanitized. Make sure whenever you are filling the food grain or grain storage structure, you are disinfecting and sanitizing the whole stainless steel body before filling them with the grains. For the purpose of safe storage period of 6 to 12 months, dried seeds to be safe moisture level. That's why we are maintaining 10 to 12% of moisture for the cereal, so that they are not able to soak the moisture further, and maintain their period over 6 to 12 months. Structure should provide the security from floor moisture, rains, rats, and we should always choose that kind of silo structure or storage structure where moisture, rain, rats, birds, molds, rodents, and ants or insects cannot enter. Okay, they need to be constructed in such a way that it may present the necessary facility for inspection, infection, loading, unloading, cleaning, and reconditioning. We should always choose that kind of structure where the necessity facility for inspection, infection, loading, unloading, cleaning, and reconditioning we can do again and again. The next point is the storage structure should be constructed in such a way that it can protect grain from excessive moisture content or humidity. Temperature, I've already told you. We should make the storage structure in such a way that insects cannot enter into it, moisture cannot enter into it, humidity cannot enter into it, our temperature cannot affect the moisture, affect the cereals present in the storage structures. So what are the advantages of grain storage structure? More control and planning over crops and transportation. First, you have to plan how you are going to harvest the cereals, and you have to make a proper place for storing the cereals or your crops. That's why you need a proper planning and control and transportation for storage. You have to constantly improve the quality of grains in origin and more control of weight and quality of shipment. Pricing can be done multiple times after harvest, reducing the cost of arbitration. These are the advantages of grain storage structure. Hope you understood the video and the lecture I've given to you about the grain storage structures. I hope this should came to your handy, and I think you can comment down below in the video, in the comment section, if you have any query. Thank you for listening to me. Thanks a lot.